Welcome to our series, Moving America Forward. Each week we'll be focusing on America's entrepreneurs as they take us to new roads, new opportunities, new ways to fill the gaps left by today's failing companies. Our series will be looking at that and a lot more. So come with me and watch as the entrepreneurs of our nation move into the future.
And I'm Doug Llewellyn here in our studios in Los Angeles with our guest today, who is the Executive Director of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild. It's headquartered in Saratoga Springs, New York. I'd like you to meet her now. Her name is Lee O'Donnell. Lee, welcome. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, before we begin in earnest in this interview, a little while ago you had a chance to have a conversation with and answer some questions from William Shatner. Let's take a look at a brief portion of that now and see how it went. Okay? Let's watch.
I know you've been successful, and to make that happen takes a good organization. Tell me how you would describe your organization and what they do to help move America forward.
Mr. Shatner, handcrafted products such as soap, lotion, and cosmetics are truly the fabric of American entrepreneurship. The Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild supports this growing industry by providing an annual conference, maintaining our certification programs, as well as working with lawmakers to ensure new laws and regulations don't put these entrepreneurs out of business. That, Mr. Shatner, is how we are helping move America forward.
You know, I found that's very, very interesting what you just said to Mr. Shatner. This is an example of what we're talking about when you talk about handcrafted soap. I mean, a lot of people may not even understand what it is. But really, this looks like a candy bar. I feel like I should open this and eat it. But it's called Cafe au Lait Bar, and it's soap, handcrafted soap.
Yes, it is.
What makes this so unique? It's handcrafted by, somebody made this by hand. That's what it means,
correct,
right?
Yes.
What's unique about this kind of thing?
Well, that's how we define handcrafted. It is 80% use of hands, so hands-on stirring, hands-on pouring, and molds and things like that, and minimal use of machines to make the product. So the person who's making it has complete access the entire time to what ingredients they're putting in, how they're producing it, how they're cutting it, and everything.
So the real key to a handcrafted product, at least these, it's what goes into it. It's not the fact that it's handmade. It's handmade with specific ingredients.
Very, yes.
What kind of ingredients are we talking about?
It can run the gambit, but we're mainly food-grade ingredients.
Right.
Because people, I equate it to why do people bake a cake from scratch or a bread from scratch? It's because they want to know each individual thing that goes into their final product. And that's why soap makers get into making handcrafted soaps and cosmetics. They want to know, I'm putting olive oil in here, I'm putting sugar or salt or coconut oil, things like that. And so they know what's going in the entire process.
It's kind of like the push for natural foods, where we have so many supermarkets that focus on natural products. This is the same kind of thing you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. People are not only concerned with what they consume, but what they put on their skin as well.
And are these considered better soaps?
You know, yes, they're very moisturizing, they're non-comedogenic, they don't clog your pores, they keep your skin nice and soft. It's soap in its truest form and cosmetics in their truest form, and so yes, they are very good products.
You know, what I found kind of amazing is, as you have informed me, there are like 300,000 people, somewhere in that neighborhood, individuals in America, making handmade soap.
That's right. We estimate that there's that many in the U.S. alone doing this as a business to either supplement their income or as a standalone business, and that is their full family's income. Sometimes you have husbands and wives, and this is what they do. They make products, and they go out and they sell them.
Well, we have a number of them here on the desk in front of us. Why don't you show me or point out a couple different examples of what they are?
Okay. I brought a dog soap here. People make soap for pets. People make soap for children. I bought a sugar scrub. So this is excellent for removing, skin and that's terrible.
That's all right. Well, it's skin cells, right?
Yes,
not
correct.
removing skin. The dead skin cells on your skin. That's
Correct.
what you're talking about.
Correct.
I know. Okay.
Correct.
It's a scrub.
Right. Right. There's lip balms. So this is a lip balm made, with beeswax and shea butter and things like that.
Hold them up. Pick another one. Hold it up so we can get a good shot of it. All right. That's the scrub you were talking.
Yeah, this is a sugar scrub, and this is a very popular product that people make, and people love it. Consumers love it.
Pick another one. Let's see
Okay.
another one.
This is a soap. It's a layered soap, so you can see there's two different colors.
Yeah.
But this is a cold process soap. You know, and the ingredients in it, olive oil, coconut oil, cocoa butter. It's excellent for your skin.
Well, we have a lot of soaps here. You also represent cosmetic makers as well, and it's the same thing. The products are all natural products. It could be sugar, could be a lot of olive oil, right?
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And cosmetics means, it doesn't just mean makeup. It can mean lotions and creams and bath fizzies and anything that you would think of as for bath and body.
All right, you're the executive director of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Mm-hmm.
What does the guild do for the people who are members of your guild? And by the way, roughly how many members are there at this point?
There's over 3,000 members at this point. And what we do is we provide business services. We provide discounts on product and general liability insurance because
Right.
it's very hard for them to get. We provide discounts on shipping, on merchant services, all the things that a small business needs to thrive. We try to get it at a reduced rate per our group.
So there are benefits. I mean, there are really many benefits
Yes.
for these manufacturers to belong to the guild. And I also gather that, you know, a lot of them don't know how to market their products. Am I right?
That's something that they definitely seek out, yes, help on marketing their products. They're very good at making them, but they want, you know, how do I get to that next level in my business?
And give me an idea of what kind of business they have. You know, I mean, I assume they're operating out of their home. It's a relatively small operation with maybe, you know, the wife doing it and maybe her husband and, you know, one of a child or some friends helping out. They aren't big businesses at this point, but they could be.
Correct.
As you pointed out to me, Burt's Bees, and I think everybody's familiar with that name. You see Burt's Bees products everywhere. It started out just like this in a kitchen, right?
It did, and it eventually got so large, you know, and covered such a market that it was bought out eventually by the original owner, you know, and but it was a small handcrafted company. That's how it started.
It was bought out, you should point out, bought out by a major company
It was.
for obviously a lot of money.
It was.
He
yes.
made a lot of money.
He did.
Yes.
He did.
So the potential is really there for any one of these folks to have the same kind of story.
Absolutely.
Give me a list of the other kinds of things that benefit these soap makers for joining the guild. Obviously, there are a lot of them out there.
Right.
You have a lot of potential members sitting
Right.
out there who might be seeing this. Let's tick off why they should join.
Well, another reason they should join is we do have a certification program, and we started it years and years ago, and they can become certified in soap making at 3 different levels, at basic, advanced, and master level. And then once they pass the tests, they're allowed to use the logo that they're certified soap makers on their marketing, on their website, on their labels, anything like that. And it gives the consumer more of a peace of mind that they're dealing with somebody who, you know, has went through this process.
And are there certain guidelines that they have to know about before they can market their product? I mean, this has a very specific list of ingredients on the back. Is that something that all these soap makers have to adhere to? Is that
Yes.
a regulated? It's regulated by the government or FDA or in some regard or not?
Yes, there are labeling requirements that they have to stick to, and you know it's very particular.
Right.
But soap makers want to do that. They want to showcase their ingredients because they're food grade, most of them. But yes, they do have to follow that. There's guidelines for good manufacturing practices, manufacturing a safe product, and so they follow all these things to both stay in compliance and show the consumer that this is a really good product for you.
I guess the other big benefit, I know you have an annual conference every year where these members come together and they really get to mingle and hear what other, their competitors are doing and what's going on in the industry itself. Tell me about that conference.
Absolutely. The conference, it rotates around the country. And so we would try to make it accessible to everybody, in the United States and Canada. It has been growing since we started it, when the organization started. It sells out every year. It's sold out every year since 2010. But what they do there, it's 3.5 days of classes on marketing, legal compliance, finance, how to make better products, how to package them, how to sell them better, branding, things like that, things that they really need to know. But one of the great things about the conference is that it's 3.5 days of talking to your peers, networking with people, finding out tips and tricks that maybe you haven't tried. And people really leave the conference inspired and they want to take their business to that next level.
And what kind of feedback do you get from them after they've been to one of these conferences?
Well, first they're exhausted,
Okay,
but
all right.
after that they're like, they're so inspired by what they've learned, and they can't wait to get back in their soap shops and get back to their home to put some of these things into use.
You know, it's interesting. You started out as a soap maker yourself. I mean, you've done other things, but at one point, this is what you decided to do.
I did.
You are or were a handcrafted soap maker.
I did. And I had a business, and I got into it for the same reason that many people get into it. I was a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to supplement my income. I wanted to make products that were good for people, that made them feel good. And it just was a win-win all around. And it allowed me to work, you know, when the kids were in school or that kind of thing. So it's very flexible to be an entrepreneur.
One other thing I want to point out about your organization, you have a lobbyist in Washington, and you do try and have input into various bills that are going before Congress that would have an impact on this industry, on the handcrafted soap makers and cosmetic makers, right?
That's correct. We've been watching federal legislation that's coming out, you know, aimed at cosmetics since about 2008. And we do have a professional advocate, and we visit DC about 6-7 times a year and meet with members of Congress. We're following 2 active bills in this term alone, and sometimes we've seen as many 3 come out. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we advocate for these small businesses and make sure that members of Congress are aware that the industry exists and how many people it affects. And we want to make sure that there's good exemptions and provisions in any legislation that comes out so it doesn't hurt them inadvertently.
Well, obviously it's a benefit, because I am sure there's some people in Washington have no idea that there's many people that are involved in handcrafting soaps and cosmetics.
Correct. When we go and we meet with members, we actually bring some products, and they're like, "Oh, I've seen that at Whole Foods. I've seen that at the farmers market," but they didn't realize the extent and how many businesses are actually doing this in the United States.
And the bottom line question is, do you use one of these handcrafted soaps all the time?
That's all I use. I couldn't use anything else.
Your family use it?
Yeah, absolutely.
How about your husband?
Oh, yes, he loves it.
So there are benefits for the whole family?
Absolutely, yes. And it's kind of fun. You go to your, your counter, and you're like, "Wow, which one am I going to use now?" Because they're all so different.
All right,
so.
Cafe au lait today, right?
That's right, Cafe au lait.
Thank you very much. Very interesting indeed.
Thank you.
Now it's my honor to present this prestigious award to Lee O'Donnell, the Executive Director of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild of Saratoga Springs, New York, for the outstanding work that her organization is doing to help keep moving America forward. Lee, let me hand this to you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this, and I'd like to, say on behalf of our members and all the entrepreneurs in this industry that we really appreciate it, and it wouldn't be possible without them.
Very good.
That's it for another edition of Moving America Forward. I'm Bert Tenzer. Join us again as we continue to bring you the entrepreneurs who move America forward.
I'm William Shatner, and for all of us at Moving America Forward, thanks for watching.